U.S. approves sale of military assistance to Taiwan. U.S. approves arms sales to Estonia, Norway, and South Korea. U.S. warship sails near Spratly in the South China Sea. Peru Congress rejects gender-neutral bathrooms. UK issues first ever red warning for heat. Heatwaves hammer cities in the Yangtze River Basin. Biden backs Palestine-Israel two-state solution. Philippines cancels China loan deal on rail projects.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us for FUNDAY News. It's Monday, July 18th, and here are your top stories. The Pentagon said on Friday, July 15th, that the U.S. State Department has approved the potential sale of military technical assistance to Taiwan worth an estimated $108 million. The Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency said in a statement, the proposed sale will contribute to the sustainment of the recipient's vehicles, small arms, combat weapon systems, and logistical support items, enhancing its ability to meet current and future threats.
The Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency said that the U.S. would also enhance Taiwan's military interoperability with the United States and other allies, and that Taiwan's armed forces would have no difficulty absorbing the equipment and support. U.S.-Taiwan Business Council President Rupert Hammond Chambers welcomed the announcement in a statement, but said it was a sign the administration was focused on sustainment and munitions support for Taiwan, and that force modernization of its military is no longer a priority.
On July 15th, the Pentagon announced that the U.S. State Department has approved the potential sale of HIMARS rocket systems to Estonia, missiles to Norway, and torpedoes to South Korea in separate deals that could be worth more than a total of $1.5 billion. The package approved for Estonia would include up to 6 M142 high-mobility artillery rocket systems, also known as HIMARS, as well as launchers, munitions, support equipment, spares, and technical support. The Pentagon said Lockheed Martin was the prime contractor for the HIMARS system.
On July 15th, the Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency notified Congress of the possible sale to Estonia and two other foreign militaries. The State Department approved the separate potential sales of medium-range air-to-air missiles and related equipment to Norway and Mk-54 lightweight torpedoes to South Korea. The agency said Raytheon Technologies was the prime contractor for either 205 AIM-120C8 systems or D advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles.
The U.S. Navy said on July 16th, USS Benfold Pennant No. DDG-65 asserted navigational rights and freedoms in the South China Sea near the Spratly Island, consistent with international law. The USS Benfold destroyer sailed near the disputed Paracel Islands on Friday, July 15th, its first of two such freedom of navigation operations in a week in the South China Sea. July 12th marked the 6th anniversary of a ruling by an international tribunal that invalidated China's sweeping claims to the South China Sea.
Reuters reported that the United States regularly carries out what it calls freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea, challenging what it says are restrictions on innocent passage imposed by China and other claimants. China claims almost the entire South China Sea because China has never accepted the International Tribunal's ruling. Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Brunei all have competing and often overlapping claims.
On Thursday, July 14th, Peru's Congress rejected the government's initial request to host the General Assembly of the Organization of American States, also known as OAS, in October over the requirements to provide gender-neutral bathrooms. The head of Peru's Congress Foreign Relations Committee, Ernesto Badasmonte, tweeted that the OAS had attempted to introduce gender ideology into Peruvian law. Peru is a deeply Catholic country. Its government offices in Peru do not normally offer gender-neutral bathrooms.
Hoy conmemoramos el 55º aniversario.
Reuters reported that Peru's Foreign Minister Cesar Landa said on Twitter that Congress's decision gravely affects Peru's international image and asked that it reconsider its stance. Luis Almagro, the head of the OAS regional bloc, said on Twitter he agreed with Landa's position and thanked the effort put forth by both him and the Peruvian governments. He said he hoped that the summit could still be held in Peru. The largest congressional bloc Popular Force, led by former presidential candidate Kyoko Fujimori, voted unanimously to reject the OAS assembly.
British authorities issued their first ever red warning for extreme heat early next week, declaring a national emergency as forecasters predict record temperature that will put even healthy people at risk of serious illness and death. The warning covers Monday and Tuesday when temperatures in England may reach 40 degrees Celsius for the first time ever. The UK Met Office said that the national record of 38.7 degrees Celsius was set in 2090. And the UK Health Security Agency raised its own hot weather warning to national emergency, which is the nation's highest alert level.
A Met Office red alert for the first time ever. A heat emergency. In real-world terms, a risk to health services, risk to infrastructure.
The UK Health Security Agency said, at this level, illness and death may occur among the fit and healthy, not just in high-risk groups. The UK Met Office also warned of potential disruption to air and rail travel and potential localized loss of power and other essential services, such as water or mobile phone services. Reuters said that the temperatures are expected to rise in the coming days as the system that brought record highs to parts of Europe last week moves north over Britain.
The Voice of America reported that searing heat waves swept across China's vast Yangtze River basin on Wednesday, July 13th, hammering densely populated megacities from Shanghai on the coast to Chengdu deep in the heartlands. More than 90 red alerts were active across China as of 3:30 p.m. Most were in the Yangtze Basin, which spans nearly 2,000 kilometers. Shanghai issued its second red alert in 4 days, warning of temperatures exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. Construction and outdoor activities are reduced or halted under a red alert.
Some examples in Shanghai are as follows. A viral photo on social media shows a COVID test staff in full protective gear holding a 1-meter-tall block of ice by the side of the road.
VOA reported that Zhejiang issued a record 51 red alerts in one day, with local media reporting people being admitted to hospitals and even dying due to heat stroke. In Chengdu, Sichuan, a scheduled outage and upgrade of the grid this week coincided with hot weather, sparking loud protests from some of its 21 million residents on social media. In the city of Yanjin, Yunnan, temperatures reached 44 degrees Celsius on Monday, the highest since record-keeping started in 1959.
On July 15th, U.S. President Joe Biden visited Bethlehem and met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Biden said that the Palestinian people deserve a state of their own that is independent, sovereign, viable, and contiguous. 2 states for 2 peoples, both of whom have deep and ancient roots in this land, living side by side in peace and security. Even if the ground is not ripe at this moment to restart negotiations, the U.S. and my administration will not give up on bringing the Palestinians and the Israelis, both sides, closer together.
Remain the best way to achieve equal measure of security, prosperity, freedom, and democracy for the Palestinians as well as Israelis.
On Friday, Biden visited the occupied West Bank and said, there must be a political horizon that the Palestinian people can actually see or at least feel. We cannot allow hopelessness to steal away the future. He also said, the Palestinian people are hurting now. You can just feel it. Your grief and frustration. In the United States, we can feel it. Biden also announced a $201 million fund for a United Nations agency that supports Palestinian refugees. He noted that Palestinians require a political path towards peace with Israel.
On Friday, July 15th, a Philippines Marcos administration transportation official said that Chinese loans for 3 multi-billion peso railway projects, a key legacy of former President Rodrigo Duterte under his Build program, have been terminated. Cesar Chavez, Undersecretary of Railways of the Department of Transportation, said that the Department of Finance wrote to China Exim Bank in May. In the letter, the Philippines said that if China did not process the country's loan applications by the end of that month, they should be considered withdrawn.
which may mean that the loans can now be considered withdrawn. Chavez said President Bongbong Marcos has instructed them to reopen the loan application and renegotiate with the Chinese government.
Chavez said that the loan applications for Manila's 3 big-ticket railways with state-owned China Exim Bank had been withdrawn because of the bank's inaction, and former Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III put the application in suspended animation instead of being canceled. Chavez said that China also did not give the Philippines a short list of contractors and consultants for the projects, which was a prerequisite for the loan agreement.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us for FUNDAY News. Let's make every day a fun day. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.